To talk about managing your wealth in this volatile environment is Suze Orman, personal finance expert and author of The Ultimate Retirement Guide for 50 Plus. Suze, welcome back. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Sarah.
So you see a more than 1,000 point
Yes.
sell-off here on the Dow. What's the first thing you do?
I rejoice, I have to tell you, because think about it. The majority of people out there, the way that they do invest is where? Through their retirement accounts. Monthly contributions. Most of them are 30, 40, 50 years of age that have at least 10 to 30 or 40 years until they need this money for retirement. So given that that's how they're investing, why would they want the markets to go up? Because the higher the market goes, the shares cost more, the less shares their money buys, the less money they make in the long run. So with this dip, and if it continues to go down, they should just stay the course and actually be quite happy because the market is still incredibly high if you look at it.
But I guess that argument holds, provided the selling and the down days are only temporary. Do you get what would you say to people who are nervous that this is the start of a bigger sell-off?
Again, not if it's temporary. You don't want something to go great. It goes down 1 or 2 days. Big deal. When you're dollar cost averaging in a retirement account, it's monthly, every month, month in and month out for years. So it could be a year or two. If you had gone through this in 2007, 2008, into 2009, and then continued up, you would have made a fortune. A fortune. So don't, if it's the long run, don't sell and continue to dollar cost average. It's really just that simple.
One of the common lines, and this is certainly relevant to your book, about the market and what motivates people right now is that interest rates are so low. There's almost no apparent reasonable choice except for a healthy helping of equities. Does that make sense? Is there ways to otherwise generate income that make sense?
And no, actually, there's no way to generate income except to work for it today. If you think about it, your spiders and your VITs and the ETFs are paying a 1.75% dividend yield. They're paying even more now as of today. A 10-year Treasury bond's going to give you less than that. So where are you going to get yield? If you need yield, you're better off just going to a savings account at a credit union or a high-yielding savings account, which will give you 2%. You're better than that than buying a bond.
Actually, I think Warren Buffett agrees with you. He weighed in on this very point about reaching for yield today in an interview with Becky Quick.
Reaching for yield is really stupid, but it's very human. I mean, I understand it. And people say, well, I've saved all this money all my life, and now I can only get 1% out. What do I do? The answer is you learn to live on 1%, unfortunately. And you don't go and listen to some salesman come along and tell you, I've got some magic way to get you 5%.
Yeah.
Just get used to the low yields?
So you don't have to get used to the low yield, but I'm sure in his interview he also talked about the earnings factors and everything that happens when you do buy stocks and what goes on behind the scenes. I'm a stock girl. What can I tell you? It's where I'll make the most of my money. It's where I've made the most of my money in terms of investing. Bonds aren't going to do it for you that way. So if in the long run, if you're looking for income and you don't know what to do, can you just look at some dividend-paying stocks with some of your money?
Interesting that you focus on the 50-plus crowd in the new book. I was going to ask you about that age gap and what we're seeing in this election and how younger voters are going for Bernie Sanders and just what that's going to mean for the investment and economic horizon if he does continue to pick up momentum here and ultimately secures the nomination. And
I get everybody is seriously interested in who is going to be the president. But I think one lesson that we all should understand and have learned doesn't matter really in terms of what bills get passed and everything, because it's all about the Congress. So I'm more interested in who's going to control the House, who's going to control the Senate, because that's where the bills and everything get passed. Now, of course, the president can veto it, but depends. Sometimes there's ways around that.
Suze Orman, good to have you on a day like today for sure.
Hey, it's all right. It's a perfect day.